Welcome to the most wonderful time of the year. The bucks are falling like flies every day, except for me and Todd. Todd's in a tree stand right now, probably crying because he's not seeing any deer and hasn't killed anything yet. I can only imagine the level of rut anxiety going on in Mr. Graff's head right now. But I have faith that he will get a buck before long. But I tell you what, the team is absolutely slaying deer right now. This week we've got Tyler Barron down in Texas. What else we got? We got Frankie Clark killed a big buck coming up. Clinton's dad killed an absolute giant. Matt Miller killed a giant last night. Dan Richardson just killed a deer. Dean Krieger killed a buck. Like, the bucks are literally dying all around me. Tom Alford killed a buck. I have not killed a buck because me and Todd, the management, we really kind of suck this year. But anyways, Tyler Barron down in Texas. Man, this is a pretty cool hunt. And I tell you what, this doesn't happen very often where you screw up and then you get another chance on the same deer on the same hunt. So let's take a look at this right now.
Well, good afternoon. It is opening day, and this morning was rather uneventful. Just saw a few does, a couple of which busted me pretty poorly, and a few turkeys this morning. That's about it. So, back in the stand, I'm in the very back of the property this afternoon, and it is dead calm. I hate hunting when it's dead calm, and that's exactly what we've got right now. There's like not a whisper of a breeze, and it's about 85 degrees, something like that, so it's like sitting in a sauna. It's been raining for the last couple of days, so humidity is probably like 80%. It's god-awful miserable, but it's opening day, you gotta go out and try it, so feels like I say this every year. I should get used to it by now, but I hate the heat. sometimes it's just not meant to be. Or maybe I just am not supposed to kill that buck. I passed him yesterday. Would have been tough to get a shot on him, but I passed him. And then he comes in, follows these two bucks that started sparring, these little smaller bucks. And in all the chaos there, I didn't get a shot. So finally I decided I'm gonna shoot him. He's gonna give me a next chance I'm gonna get him. And put the camera on him, and he crosses right in front of one of my shooting lanes at like 15 yards. Perfectly broadside, wide open. And the footage you can see before I cut the camera is really washed out looking. It's like all kind of faded looking. And I thought maybe my camera settings needed to be adjusted, so I killed the recording, was trying to fiddle with settings really fast. And turns out my lens had fogged up completely, so the footage would have been not so great. It might look better than what I think, but I want really good footage. It's what I love to do. And that wasn't going to be it, so he kept walking. Little opportunity of, window of opportunity failed, and he was gone. Man. Alright guys, I'm set up, sort of. I still got to put on my scent lock here. It's really hot. Got pretty sweaty going in on the stand here. It's probably like 85 to 88 degrees, somewhere in that vicinity, and the only good thing is at least it's breezy, so I'm trying to dry off a little bit and just sort of cool down, and then I'm gonna layer up here and get my camo on. But I'm set up this evening in a good tree. I'm in the shade the whole time. I got a really good wind for this spot, and I'm actually set up over a decoy. I put him out here at probably like 25 yards, something like that. And looking at it now, I wish he was a little bit to the left where he is. He's actually a little bit closer to a cedar than I was expecting. I think that cedar's grown up a lot, so we'll see. These deer have been coming off of a hill kind of behind the camera, and I'm hoping they pop out. They see that decoy. He's got an aggressive stance on him. Got his ears laid back a little bit, and well, I say ears. He's got one ear. I lost the other ear somewhere. I don't know where. But we'll see how this works. Wind is blowing the camera around a little bit, so I apologize, but it should be fun. Just gotta get a deer to cooperate. Hopefully it's a big, mature buck. That would be nice. Let's go. I suck. I screwed that up so bad. Everything was perfect. He was staring at the decoy, looking away, quartering away slightly. I had the perfect angle, perfect wind, and I shot right over his back. Well, I skimmed his back. I already watched the footage, and it's terrible. It's exactly what I thought. I just barely grazed the top of his back. He ran off. I saw him. He was totally fine. Has no idea what happened. Just knows that he doesn't want to be here anytime soon, so... What do you do? I don't even want to go down. I'm going to just leave the arrow. Luminox just burning bright. The only good thing, literally the only good thing is it's 5:45, so I've got a lot of daylight left. So, knocked another arrow. God, I don't know how I did that. I have no idea how I missed that shot up. He may come back. I don't even know. Like, I think he's just... No idea. Pathetic performance. I just do that? That's the same buck. He ran off into the cedar thicket right there. I'm not 100% sure about that shot, but it's definitely a lot better than the first one. I just heard some wheezing, and there it is again. I don't know if you can hear that, but I think he's down, or going down.
Alright, so here's the arrow. I guess I should clarify the second arrow. And I got red fletchings. That probably doesn't help my cause here in terms of identifying blood. But I think from what I can see, I don't know how well you guys can see it there, that is very red. And it smells like what you want it to smell like. It doesn't smell like any guts or anything. I thought I might have hit him a little bit back. I think I did, but that to me looks good. I'm happy.
Well guys, here he is. Got him recovered and had a nice easy track job, and I'm very thankful for that, especially after the first shot that I put on this deer, you know, skinning the top of his back. I'm still kind of in shock that he actually came back. I think he's just, this is his home territory. I've got a million pictures of him back here. I've seen him a couple of times back here, and it's just, to be honest, it's a deer I wasn't sure if I was going to shoot him or not, but you know, he came out this evening, and I decided, you know, I was like, he's on the decoy. He was all bristled up, looking like he was ready to fight that decoy, and just made a bad shot. And ultimately, it worked out okay because he came back. I think he just felt secure. I obviously put a hurting on his back, but he was getting around just fine and wasn't really bothered by it, it didn't look like. So he came back through, got stuck behind some cedars for a little while, but popped out. And thankfully, I just made a good shot him on the second time. So happy as I can be right now for, you know, considering the circumstances and how I was earlier this afternoon. And for now, it's time to get back to camp, get him on some ice, and then start thinking about the next hunt, which is probably going to be Kansas. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Bowhunter die.
Well, congratulations to Tyler Barron, T-Bar down there in Texas. Like I said on the intro, this doesn't happen very often where you screw up on a deer and then he comes back in later and you get to make up for it. And Tyler certainly made that second shot count. I tell you what, that DK4 really did a number on that deer, you know, both on that slice on his back, which I'm sure would have eventually healed. Looks kind of nasty in the footage there, but then on that second shot, and you know, absolutely just crushed that deer. So congratulations to Tyler. He is actually up in Kansas right now hunting the same farm where Johnny Herman killed his buck that we just saw on last week's episode. And I know he's got some big bucks that he's got eyeballs on, so hopefully he can be successful in Kansas as well. So that's it for the hunting action, guys. Next up, we're going to jump into an Ask the Experts question brought to you by the folks at Lancaster Archery, so let's do that right now. This week's question comes from Ricky Strickland. Great question, actually. There are so many different ways to tune a bow. Walk back, paper tune, knock tune, and several more. If all I want to do is go kill a whitetail at 40 yards or less, what kind of tuning do I need to do to keep it simple? Great question. We're going to turn this one over to our resident archery expert, none other than PJ Riley with Lancaster Archery. Let's see what he's got to say.
All right, guys, so great question today from a bow hunter who said he's heard about all kinds of ways to tune a bow. Walk back tuning, knock tuning, paper tuning, broadhead tuning, on and on and on. He says he just wants to keep it simple. He wants to be able to shoot 40 yards and in, whitetail hunter, standard whitetail hunting. And so he wants to know what's the simplest way that he can get a bow tuned so that he can feel comfortable shooting out to 40 yards. So what I did, I just went out onto our shop floor. I grabbed a brand new Matthews V3, had never been set up or anything, took it in the back, put a whisker biscuit on it. I had this bow tuned, ready for shooting in about 20 minutes. So what I did was I put my rest on, I put my D-loop on. Now I took an arrow to get my knocking point. What I want is to make sure my arrow is coming off the bow straight. So I put my arrow on the rest and knocked it, moved my D-loop up and down to get everything level, tied my D-loop in, then I turned the bow around, put my arrow in again, and centered my string. So I moved the rest until the string was running right down the center of the arrow. That gets my left and right. Came out here on the range, shot through paper at a distance of about 6 feet, shot a perfect bullet hole. First shot. That was all I did. Now, there's some experience that comes in there. I've done this a bunch of times, so I knew how to set these bows up. But if I needed to make left-right adjustments based on my paper tear, just loosen the rest, slide it left or right. Same thing, up or down. If I needed to change my elevation, I can do that as well. A key element to all of this is making sure you're shooting the right spine arrow. I have a 300 spine for 29.5-inch draw at 70 pounds. So this arrow is going to perform the way I want to. Now I'll take this out. I'd shoot this at a whitetail 40 yards easy. One thing I want to make sure that everybody does is once you get the bow tuned, go out and shoot your broadheads. With this simple tuning, if your broadheads don't hit with your field points, don't play with the tuning, just re-sight into your broadheads. Your arrows are coming off straight, so just stick with that, sight into your broadheads. You'll be good out to 40 yards. Try that and see if it works.
All right, big thanks to PJ and the folks at Lancaster Archery for that answer. It's exactly what I do. Paper tune and then go shoot broadheads, and if you're good to go, you are good to go. So thanks for the question. Ricky, guys, if you have any questions, whether they're bow hunting related, archery related, or anything else in life, send us your questions and maybe we'll get you right here on an episode of Bowhunter Die in the Ask the Experts section. Last thing for this episode, the much awaited trophy photos for this week. We've got some more good ones, so let's take a look at them right now. Andrew Nestor, Chris Loesch, Jeremy Todd Amundsen, Kyle Thiessen, Kylie Steinweg, and Rosalind Brumman. Well, thank you to everybody for sending in your trophy photos once again for this week's episode. We've got some good ones here, some familiar names and faces. We've been doing this a long time. I'm starting to recognize a few of you guys. I'll tell you what, man, it's a tough call here. I don't know what we're going to do. I'm torn. It's either between Jeremy Todd Amundsen, he's got 3 names, I'm counting that against him, or Kylie Steinweg. I feel like the Steinwegs win a lot, but they know how to take a good trophy photo. I don't know what to say. I'm going to give it a tie to Jeremy Amundsen. I'm leaving your middle name out because I feel like that's the right thing to do. And Kylie Steinweg for this week. You guys tied. Congratulations on your animals. Great photos. Big smiles. Deers posed up nicely. So make sure you get your information to us. We'll get your prize pack sent your way. And we're expanding out. We're not just limiting it to hunter specialty stuff. We've got some NAP broadheads. We've got some lighted knocks. We've got all sorts of different stuff that we are giving away. So make sure you take good trophy photos, because not only will you have memories to last a lifetime, but you'll get some free swag from us if you take a good photo. Speaking of which, Rosalind, it's like cardinal sin number 1 of trophy photos. Look, she posed up the deer, beautiful, big smile, no weapon. There's no bow in the photo. Cardinal sin. You can't win the Bowhunter Die trophy contest for the photos if there's no weapon in your photo. Rule numero uno. That's number 1 for those of you who don't speak Spanish. That's all I got. It is November. The rut is on. The bucks are dying everywhere. Hopefully you guys are watching this from a tree stand right now, unlike me who's in the office working. But I'll be out this weekend, so good luck to everybody. Shoot straight. Wear your safety harness, please. We'll see you next time right here on Bowhunter Die.
You gotta be kidding me. Fogged up lens.
Would you say Los or Losi?
I think it's Loesch.
Loesch? If it's not Loesch, this is your fault, Brad. I'm going to start at the beginning.